Did I do something wrong? What if I hurt someone? Am I a bad person? What if somebody knows what I did? Should I confess what I did? What if I'm not remembering it right? Does it mean I could do something like this again? In this video, I'm going to talk about what happens in your brain when you have real event OCD, and how, from a neuroscience standpoint, what you're doing fundamentally doesn't make sense. Real event OCD will make you doubt everything about a memory that you've experienced. You will go through every detail about that memory and analyze every part of it over and over and over again to reassure yourself that you didn't do anything wrong, that you didn't hurt anybody, that you're not a bad person. Why you keep asking yourself these questions and going through your memories so many times is because you need to know the answers. If you really did do something wrong, if you really did hurt somebody, or almost did, or even thought you might have, that means you're a bad person. That means you're immoral. That means you could do something similar in the future to hurt more people. The implications for remembering the details in your memories correctly are incredibly important to you. Having real event OCD makes you feel like you need to know these answers to protect the people in your life that you care about, and to make sure you don't do something again. I'm a neuroscientist, not a psychologist. The information I'm going to provide in this video is based on neuroscience and my own personal experience recovering from severe OCD. Before I got fully better, I had OCD for several years, and during that time, my OCD theme changed multiple times. A version of real event OCD was actually the one that finally took me down, and it led to me creating the OCD recovery method I've been talking about on this channel, the cognitive disengagement method. If you haven't already, watch my step-by-step guide to end your OCD, because I'm going to be making reference to a lot of the topics from that guide. What I'm going to talk about next may be reassuring to a lot of you, but it's also true. You can use the information in this video when you're creating your judgment in step 0 of the cognitive disengagement method, because the information is fact. It's not my opinion. It's based on research into how memories are formed and how interacting with those memories affect their reconsolidation. Step 0 is about providing evidence and coming to a judgment that you will strictly follow, no matter how afraid you are during an OCD cycle. Okay, so there are 4 types of memories in your brain, or 3, depending on who you ask. Real event OCD focuses on long-term memories. There's 2 subtypes of long-term memories, episodic and semantic. Semantic memories are memories you can think about that have to do with numbers and facts. So, for example, if somebody asked you how tall you were, and you remembered that you were 6 feet tall, that would be a semantic memory. If you remember that Paris is the capital of France, that would also be a semantic memory. Episodic memories are based on events that happened to you, and how you perceive the significant parts of those events. So, for example, if you remember the details about your first job interview or your first day of high school, those would be episodic memories. Real event OCD is focused on episodic long-term memories. Researchers used to think that accessing a long-term memory in your brain was like going to the library and taking out a book, and when you were done thinking about that memory, you would put the book back on the shelf, ready to be accessed again at a different time. That's actually not how memories work. Over the last 2 decades, we've been able to better understand what happens when you think about a long-term memory. Each time you think about a memory, it changes before you put it back on the shelf. To use the library example again, it's like when you're taking out a book to read it, you rewrite part of the story before you put it back on the shelf. And that happens every single time you access the memory. So, what you're afraid of, or what you've been focusing on for your real event OCD memory, is not the memory you originally had when it was first formed. It is completely different. You've probably thought about it hundreds or even thousands of times to try to remember the details of that event. So that means you've changed that memory hundreds or thousands of times. What that means is there's no way to know exactly what happened in the memory that you're thinking about. It is completely different than when the event first happened. You might be thinking, no, I know exactly what happened. I remember the details so clearly. There's just this one part that I'm not 100% sure of. That's why I keep thinking about it. That's just not true. The process in your brain is called reconsolidation. I'll leave some links in the description if any of you are curious to learn more about it. If you haven't already, please leave your comments below and like this video. By doing so, you help this video and channel be shown to more and more people and ensure more videos like this one will be made in the future. Depending where you are on your recovery journey, this might be reassuring or it might not be. But remember, if it is reassuring, Reassurance never lasts for OCD. You learning this information might make you feel good for now, but you will find a way to start thinking about this again. Or you can develop a new OCD theme outside of a real event. I know I did. What you can do is use this information as part of your core case to make a judgment that you will follow for your OCD topic and then stop engaging with anything related to your judgment. That's how you can end your OCD cycle. I've said this before in prior videos, but I want to stress it here again. You need to stop watching OCD related content. Stop watching OCD videos, stop watching my OCD videos, stop watching anybody else's OCD videos. Stop going on Reddit, stop going on forums, stop engaging with OCD topics altogether. It's just another form of a compulsion. It's just another form of reassurance. You're reassuring yourself that what you're actually experiencing is a problem shared by everybody else and that there's guaranteed steps to take. You're trying to reassure yourself in 100 different ways that you might not even be aware of. Try the cognitive disengagement method that I've laid out in the step-by-step guide to end your OCD. If you feel like this method isn't working for you, keep trying to find something else that does work for you and commit to it continuously. Watching OCD-related content will not get you away from OCD symptoms. If you can't implement the information I provided in the guide, rewatch the parts that you're stuck on and try to implement it to your own situation. Read the comments or ask a question. I try to answer when I can. If you're still struggling, I offer a course to end your OCD that comes with free one-on-one coaching sessions. The cost of the course is less than one therapy session, so you will definitely be getting your money's worth. OCD and everything related to OCD is just not that interesting. No one looks up OCD information for fun. They look it up to get rid of what feels like an endless curse that they can't get away from. When I had OCD, every time I looked up information related to OCD, it was just to make myself feel better. When you start to recover or feel better, you might be tempted to start searching for information about OCD again. You might tell yourself, the stuff I was afraid of before was so silly. I bet if I looked it up now, I could totally debunk it and never have to think about it again. The reality is, you've already proven to yourself that your brain is predisposed to this type of thinking, to this type of counterproductive thinking pattern. Just don't touch it. Don't go near it. If you found something that works for you and you're able to recover, don't ever go back. You know what it leads to. You know how bad it can get. Choose to stay away. Just as a note, if you receive a message saying that you can't register for the course, please email me to be placed on a waitlist. You have the power to end your OCD forever. I hope this is the last OCD video you watch.